What's up, SS? I'm back again. Jedi Master Elon here. Panthers gonna win the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl! What up, peeps? So, we got it going on today. I got my jersey strong, you know. If I read one more negative thing about Cam Newton, I think I'm gonna blow up. Seriously. I love that dude. He's the man. Come on, if you can't smile and have fun when you're winning, when can you have fun? Shit, you work your whole life. I mean, come on. But, anyways, we'll see what happens tonight. For now, I wanted to touch on this topic. It comes up a lot, and I try my very best to respond to all comments. I go through them one by one, and, you know, the list is getting big. And I do want to touch on, I know some other people have done this as well, but I'm going to give you my thoughts. We're going to kind of go through each of these, you know, individual things, these battles and arenas and all your points, and I'm going to kind of tell you my perspective on what the best characters out here are, okay? So we'll start in the squad Cantina. Now, I have an Excel sheet that I made. There's Star Wars Galaxies, OHDB. I'm going to link my Excel file. It's nothing crazy, but if you get used to it, you see how it works. It has everything kind of color-coded, so you can kind of go through and see. You could sort it, if you're good with Excel, by speed, and then you could look at the things and say, okay, these are the guys I'm going to go for. But it has everybody listed out and where they come from and where you can get shards from him. Okay. So, obviously, Squad Cantina, Geonosian soldier. You guys have seen him. You guys have watched him. He's a great character. He's really, really fast. Let's just look at him real quick. Geonosian soldier is one of my favorites. He's very easy to gear, and that's a part of my grade, is how easy he is to gear. Now, I believe that he goes up in speed in the next gear tier. I just cannot collect those 50 shackles, try as I might. But he's got a fair amount of health, 11.5k. His speed is 140 right now, and I'm telling you, it took nothing to gear him. Fair potency, but he doesn't really have any cast, and he's got pretty decent tenacity at 39%. That's pretty high for someone like him. Okay, so that's obviously somebody you're going to want to look at. Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca. You know, if you really fancy the character. Now, Talia, I'm going to tell you guys that she could be pretty good with this coming update, because that heal self is going to be pretty nice, on top of the fact they fixed her AI. We're going to have to see where she plays out, because she actually gets pretty tanky. I'm sorry, I should have had this up already, but let me pull up some stuff, and as I look through, I can kind of give you some stats on what they would be completely maxed out. So here's Talia, and she actually has 13k health, almost 12.7, rounding up, 12.7k health. I knew that she was pretty tanky. She has really high potency at 110%, so she will land that dot that she has, and she will cast that, and then she'll go to her basic attack. When you think about things from a PvP perspective, you have to remember their skill order. You have to be thoughtful about, what is this bitch going to do? It's kind of like me talking about Mace Windu. When I say Mace Windu may or may not be good, well, if he exposes, that's great, but if he's an AI and he doesn't attack that exposed person ever, like 1 out of 5 chance, that doesn't make him very good. Just like Plo Koon. If Plo Koon started with defense up as his first skill to use, it might actually improve his PvP potential, even if he did nothing else. It'd kind of be like a reverse Poggle. Poggle, first thing he does, that's why he's so great, is because you know he's going to throw offense up first. He's not going to, you know, think and be like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to do this today. He's not going to get creative and shit. He's going to do what he always does. So, anyways, Talia, the thing is, she will cast her attack. She will not waste her her heal until somebody needs it, and she won't waste it on herself and suicide anymore. So potentially she'll throw that that damager pretty quick in the first round, and then go for a basic in the second round. And if she's been damaged at all, she'll heal. And if not, somebody needs heals, she'll heal them. It could be interesting. This is Jawa. He's not great. And then that's the Acolyte, I believe. Yes. Okay, in the Acolyte, the Night Sisters just aren't blowing anybody's skirt up. Now, here's Big Fartlighter, and he is also in the Galactic War Shipments. So I don't put a lot of, focus on him. Now, Finn, people who've gone that route, they aren't very happy with him. IG 100, he's trash. JC, now, here's the one that we all said to go for as soon as you can unlock him, JC. But now that the meta has changed a little bit and the level 70 cap didn't really help him or improve his game, he's kind of put on the back burner right now. But he was pretty important. Sorry, I got the hiccups. He was pretty important in Galactic War for level 60s. And he's considered part of that trifecta, that triple healer combo that works really well. And I'm curious to see how, even though he didn't get much from 70, he didn't get any gear. I'm curious to see what his skill ups will provide him with. Now here the big guys are Plo Koon, obviously, just because he is kind of desirable. People like him, but he's not doing anything. IG-86. Now IG-86 is again in another tier. I believe Galactic War. Kylo Ren and Mace Windu. Okay? So I'm just kind of going through these and talking to you. Obviously, so far, the biggest ones is Geonosian Soldier, that's known. JC and Talia are kind of question marks as far as if that's as far as you can get into Squad Cantina. Now we're getting to some tough choices because Mace Windu is going to be buffed, and we kind of have an idea of what he's going to do. Love his leader skill. I would be excited to use it, try it, see how he does. Also, I like that. Actually, some people might be like, well, why does Sidious give crit and offense to everyone, and he only gives it to Jedi? Well, if you think about it, Sith can corrupt anybody, but Jedi can't really give their offense up and their teachings to, a non-Jedi, somebody, a bad guy. They're not going to really benefit from that, unless we're talking about, like, conversion back. But that's a way harder process. Falling to the dark side is a lot easier than joining back to the light. Kylo Ren, I know I've been down on him, but Kylo Ren actually is pretty decent with the right comp. He needs Phasma, and he needs First Order TIE Pilot. He needs the whole group, and then you'll see a lot of devastating things go on with that team. That actually can be good, but you got to go the full way. You got to get First Order Officer, and it's a big thing, and you're still going to probably need Poe to kind of cover your butt. But it's something, and it's definitely viable, and even throw in Sidious in there for some really mad quickness. And I would suggest against IG-86 and obviously Plo Koon. IG-86 specifically because he's farmable somewhere else. Now here in the 5th ring we have basically a reset of everything that we've already seen. So there's nothing here really to talk about. Got Luke Skywalker again. I've heard good things about Luke Skywalker, but is it worth it versus what we've already seen? Not really. Here's where it gets tricky because now we got 2 really good opportunities here. We have Dooku, obviously, and we also have Barriss Offee. Barriss is going to be really good. Come into the future, I'm telling you, part of it is her health. She's got a lot of health. She doesn't do a lot of damage, but she has great heals. Her unique is great. It's a removal of basically a removal of like a negative spell effect. She's a level 57, I believe. Now this is only 4-star. And right here she's got 11,000 health. She's 109 speed. Remember that her basic heal goes past healing immunity. Her Her swift recovery is what I was referring to as the unique 25% chance to dispel one negative status effect from each ally and gain 6% turn meter for each effect removed. So that's pretty awesome. So that's something to be aware of. And like I said, I'm still sick, so kind of forgive me there. So to recap, what have we said? Early on, we talked about Geonosian Soldier, maybe Talia, maybe JC. I mean, it's nice to have a 7-star JC, just to have somebody to fall back on. I do use him in Galactic War. You've seen me use him. Kylo Ren, it's kind of like a niche character. Plo Koon needs buffs. Mace Windu, we don't know what's going to happen. That's a question mark. And Count Dooku is obviously, he's put last there, and he's great. But here's my thing. I do like the Jedi. I am really curious to see Mace Windu, so you probably already have seen a lot of the Count Dooku stuff. People out there already have a 7-star Count Dooku and stuff, and I'm sure people have Mace too, but I would figure to a much less degree, and they haven't been pushing for him. So some of the guys, they've definitely been refreshing the crystals and stuff. I'm sure they're pissed, about this, but they've got a head start on it, and I know Dooku's good. He doesn't really fit in well with a Jedi team, to be totally honest. He fits in better with a Poggle team or somebody who's going to, unless you use his leader, he really needs that offense up for that double and triple and quadruple poke. So he does a lot of damage if you're doing that, but otherwise, he's just not needed. Trying to... No. Oh, there it is. Ha. Well, anyways, he's good if you need to climb up the ladder because he's got a stun, and it works well versus Jedi, and you're always going to see at least 1 or 2 Jedi in the meta. And he's pretty fun to play. His counter's pretty nice against AoE teams. He's got even just a basic attack stun on Jedi, so he's very powerful versus Jedi. Barriss Offee, moving into the future, she's going to provide defense up on a heal. That's right. If you check out SWGOHDB, they have data mined it, and she's going to have a defense up off her heal. So she's going to heal you and give you defense up, equalize your health. It's going to be huge. And remember, the bigger our health pools, the more important these percentages become. On top of her leadership skill, which will give them, I don't, off the top of my head, I don't want to give you the right numbers here. So 20% max health for Jedi, and other allies gain half, so 10%. And this is at the level 7 max. That's at level 70. So 20%. That's a lot. Think about Mace Windu, 20%. What's that? Well, 10% would be, 1.4k times 2, so it would be 2.8k health added to Mace Windu. For 17k like her, she comes with 20k health. So she'll actually have, 4k? Yeah. I do that math when I tip. So we've kind of gone over that, and then here for the Cantina shipments, okay, I'm going to point out some good ones. Poe Dameron, obviously. You can farm him. What I would say, though, if you're going to forego the Dooku, what I'm doing is I just want to clear this up real quick. I go for the Dooku on the battle side, because they're really cheap. They're only 12 energy per, and you get 6 chances. And I've been farming decent shards. Like one time yesterday I got 3 in a row off the first one, and then 2 off the second one. So that's 5 shards a day. You just got to take your time. It's something I'm going to be patient with and grind up, and I'm going to save this for right now. It may not work out well, but I'm going to save it for Mace. But that's just me, and that is not the best advice I can give you. If you don't have GS, you should probably get him. You might consider yourself, I'm behind, I got to catch up, but jump in the meta. That's not. See, I got shit to fall back on. If this Mace Windu thing doesn't work, I have stuff to fall back on. GS is a fallback. He's great. He costs nothing to gear. Go for him. JC, if you need him, but you're feeling like you want to that's the part, JC, if you are in that position where you haven't farmed him yet and you're new or whatever, you may be able to skip him and survive. It's just, if Talia gets buffed, you may be able to rely on her in Galactic War. So that could be interesting. And you could actually use all three. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, back to the shipments. Obviously, Poe Dameron. Stormtrooper, nobody's touching him right now. Now, First Order Officer. That's a really good character. And I can't go through all of the stuff with him. Just know that you do your research, especially if you're building a First Order team, because he'll be a part of it. And he could make a really solid First Order team. He's got some turn meter manipulation. He's quick. And he's pretty good. He's pretty good. So do a little bit of research on him. Look at some of his stats. He's up there. CT5s. Personally, he's cool, and he used to be, the meta has shifted, and at the beginning he was the meta because he was so tanky and he had slowdown, so his team was basically bruising you to death. And he has a counter, so he destroyed AoE teams, and during that time AoE teams were shifting out of the meta. He's not as important now because a lot of tanks like him, just if they don't have a taunt. Sorry. I told you I'm sick. If they don't have a taunt or anything to make a tank be attacked, or they don't have something like Mace Windu built into them, like, oh, I expose and I do a lot of damage when I'm healthy, then, he's just not as good as he once was. Now, they could add more clones, and then we'll see what happens. Old Daka, I've heard people say, and I think she's pretty darn good in PvP, but she's a little bit finicky because, dude, one time I'll be fighting this guy, he's 2k power level below me. Daka is bugged right now. She goes first in turn, so that's a bug. So once that's fixed, she may not do shit. But she goes first in turn, and she's done like 2 people in my group. And at my level of play, that could be death, because that's a complete reset of turn meter. So, because they were almost full. So anyways, pretty potent there, but she's broken right now in that respect. So that's going to be fixed. High level PvP otherwise, when she wasn't doing that, she got smoked. I mean, she got smoked like a Philly blunt. It was easy. Ahsoka Tano, don't do it. Jedi Knight Guardian, don't do it. For one, there are other places to get both those, and if you really want it, do the slow grind to take your time. They're too damn slow. They're both the slowest characters in the game. Qui Jinn, obviously, number one next to Poe Dameron. You're going to have to choose between those two. I don't think that you can win a Poe Dameron fight without Poe, and it'll turn the tables if you have Qui Jinn. So you're going to need both, basically, with this coming meta. And Qui Jinn will always be pretty potent. He does not need a nerf. He's pretty balanced for what he is and how challenging he is to get. He doesn't do an insane amount of damage himself, but he generates some nice turns. He can grant offense up for breaking dispelling something. And his basic attack can generate turn meter for himself and kind of reset him. He's got fair health. Overall, he's pretty good. Mob Enforcer, I've heard bad things, like she's not reliable. Hoth Rebel Scout, actually, people have talked about, and there's some stuff going on there. I need to do a little bit of research, but HRS, what they refer to him as, and he actually does some pretty decent damage. But no, definitely not something you guys want to go on your first round. Now, Boba Fett, the only reason, look, when you go through this, guys, think about it like this. You're building a team, right? Can only do one at a time. Okay? So, you got Poe Dameron here. He's going to give you defense. Qui Jinn is going to dispel and break that Poe. And you need to fill up your sections. Honestly, most of you guys would do best just going for Poe. After you complete Poe to 5-star, you can start deciding if you have a high crit chance team, not with Sidious behind it, but some people that do a lot of crit, like IG-86 does. Like, Boba Fett can be a really, really good leader with Poggle. So remember to break it up, and that's what the Excel file is for breaking up. You need to create a team. You do not need to buy a bunch of characters. You need to make a team. So you can't just decide to do, oh, well, I'm going to do Old Daka and Poe Dameron as part of my team. No, you need to pick one, and then you need to find one in here to find, like Geonosian Soldier. There's a part. You got Poe Dameron, there's another piece. So now you got a Damager, you got a tank. Now what else do you need? You need a little bit of support, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So let's go to Squad Arena, see what we can pick out. Now, Eth Koth, that's that randomness. That's that fifth weird hipster choice at the end of the road. Ugnaught, ignore that shit. Coruscant Underworld Police, heard that shit sucks. HK-47, he's pretty good. Because he's like a poor man's old Ben. And he's got nice ability block. He's good against Jedi. But Eth Koth, if you're thinking about we're creating a team here, Eth Koth is that random variable, the fifth man that kind of completes the team. You don't need him, you don't have to have him, but for me, he gives me good offense, and I'm hoping I haven't gotten to see him on defense, but I'm not moving too far around, and I'm in the 70s now, and people are catching up, and I'm sure my team can be beaten, but I feel that that's done when an AI puts it in the right place at the right time. And the AI is smarter than me. It knows already. It's a hacker and a cheater, and it knows who it's going to land on. And honestly, the AI doesn't seem too stupid. Like, I'm going to hit this guy because he'll dodge. Like, it knows what it's doing before it does. That's the calculation of it. I mean, that's how you create AI, is you have to give it some information like that. Like, who would I be best to stun with? So anyways, Eth Koth is that fifth man. That last, after you get the tank, you get the damager. He's like a little niche utility / he fills a role. Asajj Ventress, she is really good in PvE. I really do like her in PvE. She helped me to beat that First Order TIE Pilot mission, the one when we were 60 capped. It was really hard with the Ewoks. Yeah. Now that's going to be a lot easier for you guys because you're going to be 70 and you're just going to be able to steamroll it eventually. But damn, that was hard. She was critical to that because the way that she works, her AoE can just keep refreshing. And they're going to fix her dispel. It's not going to heal the team. That's fine. But just know that she's actually really good in PvE. She will never be a PvPer because she is too slow. And you've got to trust me on this. That's why Eth Koth actually is viable. So if you're trying to build a PvP team, you have to do it like this. If you can't handle Galactic War and you need that, Asajj probably won't be that great for you because that's all PvP is. Then let her go. If you need help in the PvE, you may have to get... Darkseid is particularly difficult because you don't have a good healer. Because you don't have this. Because you don't have that. You don't have as good a team around you. Well, that's something you may need to go around. But it's a long-term investment. You don't get a lot, so you need to really be careful. Sidious here will go on any team. He is good on any team. He is got great crit chance, crit damage. He's good. So what are we talking about? We're talking about HK-47. He's the poor man's old Ben. He can do some offense down and some ability block. He's pretty good. He does fair damage, and he's got a revive mechanism, so you don't really want to go after him first anyways. He's pretty damn tanky. Sidious, obviously, I'm not a huge Sidious bandwagon fan, but I do see him a lot. He's very, very fast. Sometimes he can be the last man there, and he can go twice before some of your slower guys go, and he can regenerate health off kills, so he's got a lot going on. He's got great evade versus Jedi. It's good. IG-88, he's too squishy and he's slow. I don't like that. But if the Poe gets the first draw and he exposes everybody, then that's a really good, and he'll go after Poggle, and he'll have offense up and speed up. But if it doesn't go right, then IG-88 will get killed. Greedo, I just don't know. I really don't want to hypothesize on him. I haven't heard great things. His TD, thermal detonator, takes too damn long, so he kind of sucks. At least if I remember correct. Admiral Ackbar, not a PvPer. You've seen him in Galactic War. He's fun to play. Would I advise going for him? No, dude. That's just for me being stupid and picking up characters that don't work for the meta. I mean, he is one of those dumb AI characters. There's some guys that have all the skills in the world and they're just stupid as hell in AI, like Talia. There's nothing wrong with her. She doesn't get enough health back from her auto attack, but even without that, her dumb AI is what cost her. And the same thing with Ackbar. Ackbar will cast his "It's a trap." It's a trap, even when there's nothing. There is no trap. You know, Savage Press. He's been buffed here recently. I always said he was kind of trashy. People were like, "Nah, dude, he's good." Like, no, dude, he's really not. Like, he just sits there. He's got one attack, and it's like, boop, and then it's done, and you're alive, and he's alive, and all his teammates are dead. But with this improved damage, like the 25% chance, like, or he's got a, like, 25% health, and he's got, like, a kill secure mechanism on that secondary, his skill. That's the update, the patch on him. He's going to be pretty fair, and if you're going to do it, you need to fit him in with the dark side team. Like a Count Dooku, Sidious, Savage Press would be a pain to handle because you know he's gonna kill secure. He's gonna be tanky, so you won't go for him. If you're a Jedi team like mine, you'll have hard times with Sidious, and you don't really want to go after Dooku because he'll counter you and generate turn meter. So see, there's a lot of stuff going on in that team. And then you could get Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren will get counter up. And then you won't really want to go for him. And see, getting people that you don't... See, that's what screws you. Get in people's heads, because some of these team comps get in my head. And I'm like, I don't know who to go for here, because everybody here has something to... That if I go for them, it's something to counter me or something to hurt me with. So, and then here we have the Galactic War Shipment. Now, this is going to be your fastest farm. Obviously, Luminar, if you haven't already gotten her and gotten her to 7-star, she could be in your team right now at the end game. She hits so hard. She's got a great heal. She's just a great character all around. She's considered an attacker. She is not a healer. She is not like Barris. She is a good character, and I got no complaints about her. I maybe could say she could use a little potency. She does get resisted a lot at high-level plays, but, you know, that's it. Alright, so, IG-86, okay? Again, we're building a team. If you're building it, you need to build it around stuff. If we were to take Poe out of there, Geonosian Soldier, we got 2 characters. Out of the third one, we got Sidious and made him leader. So now we got Poe Dameron, Geonosian Soldier, Sidious. I'm pretty happy with this team so far. I would probably throw Luminara in there, because this is your first team that you're trying to get together. This is going to be competitive. And I'm trying to build you the fastest, fairest team for you. Then I would probably go Poggle after I got Luminara. Because Luminara, you got to think about Galactic War. She's going to be useful. Then Poggle, because Poggle gives that offense up. Now your whole team is going to be so boosted. That's a really solid team right there. 5 people. Sid, Poe, Poggle. That's a team at my level I wouldn't really want to see. I can beat it just like you can beat anything, but I wouldn't want to see it because it would be ugly. Now, that would be the start. Then you need to implement IG-86 into the mix. Okay, and then you can rotate out and in somebody if you find you don't need heals, because sometimes you don't need heals. Sometimes you just need to kill people as fast as possible. I mean, come on. And IG-86 can do that for you. IG-86 can murder people, and he'll benefit from Poggle's offense up and a speed up. Speed up is pretty potent in this game. Resistance Pilot, love him. And again, you got to build around thinking what that guy does. He has a built-in evasion inside of him. He's hell to gear. So that's why I don't rate him super, super high. But he's not a bad character. He hits really hard from what I've been told. And his built-in evasion is solid. Now you want to stack that with somebody like Luminara and Dolly as the, leader. and you'll have really high evasion on that guy. They'll try to go for him, he'll evade, and with the right character, like you put old Ben on the leader, he'll generate turn meter for evasions, and I believe he has turn meter generation for evades anyways. Might be wrong, maybe. I'll check that out, but either way, he's a solid like first order TIE pilot type damager, and he has a cool kit going on, but he's just held a gear. And you can probably, if you're getting a lot of easy to gear characters, then you can probably bear to have one really challenging one. I mean, I have so many, I can't take on another one right now. I've got many gears to farm, and it's just not going to happen. But I would love to get Resistance Pilot out. Remember that Poe Dameron has a leadership skill for Resistance. And if you get the Resistance Pilot, you have him. Obviously, you're working on Rey. We're going to get to that. But anyways, here, we're starting to build a pretty solid team. Captain Phasma, good all around, but going to get a nerf. Like I said, you guys, I've linked the patch notes a couple times. It's just, she's going to get to where when you heal, somebody's not going to get a call-in assist. When you do a defense up, you're not going to get a call-in assist anymore. It's things like that. Night Sister Initiate, tons of health. Pretty good, but I'm pretty sure things are broken with her. Tebow, some of the things are wrong with him, like his leader skill working with his stealth up. They don't really work right, but he could be fun, like in a Tralala way. Big Farlighter, I've heard great things about him. His call and assist, increased chance of crit. He's relatively easy to gear for me so far. I've gotten all his shards. I'm pretty much done with that. And he's ready. Tebow's ready. Phasma's done. Poggle's ready if I get his card. Luminara's done and Resistance Pilot's done. So now, in this month, we've got IG-86 shards coming. So I could finish him, and then I'd only be missing Dacha, Night Sister Initiate, and Tusken Raider. And Tusken Raider, man, don't forget about that dude, because he has 17k health. He's got a call-in assist as well, and we just know that those are powerful. If you had a Ruru, you would be a monster. So, we've kind of touched base, and we've kind of built the basic squad. Now, these right here, these battles are where the slow going gets. This is long-term. Now, as you see here, Count Dooku is the only one I went for. Everybody else here pretty much ignored. The Ewok team is viable, I'm not lying to you, but you have to have an Elder. So before you do anything else, here's a Mace Windu if you're trying to really speed up your stuff. Here's Talia. You need this Elder, and he's only got 1 point. So if you're an Ewok crazy person, without Elder, you can't do it. With Elder, it's possible. But with God, anything's possible. You know what I mean? Okay. So pray, but you may do something with it. First Order Stormtrooper Pilot, there's another good one. Now, if you're doing 2 refreshes a day off crystals, then you have the potential to do somewhere around like 5-6 characters with 2 nodes apiece at the 12 energy or even 16 energy. I did the numbers on those. So don't pick more than like 4 or 5 heroes. And if you're not doing any refreshes, I think you probably should, especially if you're not 70. You should be doing the 50 credit crystal, that you get. You should be using them on this energy regeneration. And my biggest thing was I'm glad I stopped doing normal missions. I started doing shard missions, always. That's just all I do. I don't do any of the normal missions. I don't care if I need the gear or whatever. I'm done with that. I am farming characters. Characters are the most important thing in the game, I feel like. And here's Rey. She has 3 nodes. One of them's very costly at 20, so if you're going for Rey, you may have to sacrifice one of those 5 and just do like 3 characters in Rey. But anyways, just maneuver your time here, because this is a 5th person as well, but this is the slow going part. And if you have bought chromiums, you're at a little bit of an advantage because you already have unlocked the character. Now, if we're talking about Qui Jinn, it's not that big a deal to buy his card because it's only 25, so you don't gain that many from getting his card first. Now, someone like Rey, who's 4-star to start with, that 80 shards is going to save you a lot of time. I mean, at least a month. So now here are some other nodes we can speed up some of the guys we've got in other ones. Like here's Fives. Here's Poggle. I really suggest against that on Galactic War, because Galactic War, like you've seen from me, you're just going to have so many at the end, you're not going to know what to do with it. Is this IG-86? It is. And again, Galactic War. Here's Lobot. Lobot doesn't have that many places to farm. I believe if only 2. So again, you can't build your teams off of these guys. Here's Tebow. And you can't build your team off of these guys yet. These are back burner heroes that you just need to take your time with and just be patient with, because it's going to come. You just got to give it time. Clone Trooper is actually pretty easy to farm because he has 3 nodes. So he's reasonably easy to farm, and it's not very costly to do it. But just know that that's there. Anakin, he's got 3 nodes now. He's a bitch to level up. Here's the second node for Lobot. Ahsoka. Now for the Cantina shipment, the orange globes, I wouldn't suggest against going out and grabbing some of these shards as well to speed it up. That's not a problem because you don't get that many. You get about 5 a day. 5 shards a day on that side. Here's First Order TIE Pilot. Luminara, again, I would suggest against farming those nodes. I'm a Gundy, but I'm a Gundy is a rough farm. Poe Dameron, there's another one. And then on the dark side, we have Count Dooku again, the clone right off the bat, which I do farm because I'm one of those, I'm a little bit of a completionist, and I'm like, I've already invested this time, gotten him to 6-star. I'm just going to go ahead and finish him, and then I don't have to worry about it anymore, and I've got freedom. That's what I like to think of myself as. Sorry. Yeah, so with some of these, if I've already gone a long way, I just want to finish them out and be done with it. So that's why I continue going. Sometimes I hit those spots. First Order Stormtrooper, again, he'll be good on that First Order team with all the call-in assist. Nothing really good here. Some Boba Fett, if you want to speed it up a little bit, there's a place to go. Daka. Here's Rey and Barriss. And Barriss, if you wanted to speed her up, this would be the place to do it. It's kind of expensive, though, and here's Rey. Obviously, you're going to be hitting Rey pretty hard. And here's Anakin. Those are just some ones that really speak to me. Here's your First Order TIE Pilot, and that was a really hard mission. And then, you've got another Rey here at the end. And Anakin, Plo Koon. So, those are the slow farms. Those are the ones that are going to take the most time. And you just want to, you want to keep up with it and do it daily, and just, especially now that you're going to get increased energy. That's another thing that's coming, 3 times a day, increased energy. So that can increase your long-term potentials. So, and obviously, you see I only have 7 level 70s. So that really tells you that, those are my mainstays. I got GS and FOTP. Those are, my big boys, and they're going to go in pretty much any team. Qui Jinn's going to pretty much go in the team, and Poe. And then the other 3 are kind of, interchangeable, like Luminara and Ethkoth. Admiral Ackbar is just for fun. So... Alright, gotta go. May the Force be with you.